Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry for not having a bit more of an upbeat intro. I'm not really feeling it today, and that is because of what day it is and the topic of this video. I don't really feel like being like, oh hey guys, and being all excited and then getting into a serious topic. So apologies for that. If you are here just to see videos about me being funny and quick-witted, there's no point in watching this video because that's not going to be me today. So apologies in advance. Exactly 1 year ago, I lost one of my great friends from Edinburgh. It was hard. Losing someone is always hard, and she was the first person that I was really close to that I lost. So I wanted to make this video about what it's like to lose someone and my best advice for it, what I have learned from this tragic experience. I do have a drink in my hand, and this is not because I need drink to cope with it. I don't turn to drink when things go bad. It's just because my friend Jo, she was a big drinker, and my favorite memories with her are in her flat. We're having a few drinks, we're talking about our lives and what's going on with them, and watching something like Catfish or First Dates or Come Down With Me or anything like that. So I'm doing this for her because I know if she was here today, she would be disgusted with me if I didn't have a drink in my hand. So, to my boo, to my baby doll, to my Jo, this is for you. So this video is not just going to be about Jo, it is mostly going to be about loss and losing someone that you care about. But I would like to go into a brief overview of what happened last year, and then I will go on to talk about loss in general, because I don't think I could make a whole video about Jo without completely breaking down. So Jo was born with cystic fibrosis, a horrible, horrible disease, which really affects your lungs and your mucus in your lungs and your breathing then essentially. She was lucky because she did get a lung transplant. Not all cystic fibrosis sufferers get a lung transplant, so she is very lucky that she did, and it extended her life dramatically. And in June of last year, she was taken into the hospital. She was going for a checkup, but they found irregularities with her breathing and they wanted to keep her in, and eventually things just escalated from there. I only got snippets of what was happening because she was a person that didn't like to talk about her illness. She didn't want people pitying her. She just wanted to be normal. So I didn't ask her too much because I knew she didn't want people to be asking. But she did say snippets like her kidneys were failing and she was on dialysis and she was, connected to a breathe machine. It was getting bad, but I thought nothing of it. I knew she'd been in hospital before for an extended period of time, so I just assumed it was one of those stents that she was just in there for a long time. I didn't think anything bad was going to happen. I knew she was in the best place, so I just assumed she was going to get better. I eventually went to visit her in November. She was in a hospital in Newcastle, and she refused to let me come down, even though I kept on saying, I'll come and see you, I'll come and see you, I'll get a train down. And she was like, no. So she eventually let me see her in November, and I couldn't believe it when I went in. She was so thin. She had lost so much weight. She was just a fragile little girl. That's what I saw. And she was tiny anyway. We called her Big Fat Jo, ironically, because she was so thin. But she was just bones when I went into her. And I didn't panic because she told me she was in there to get her weight back up. So I didn't panic. I was like, she's gonna get better. She's gonna get better. And then she died. About 5 days later. Getting that phone call, I didn't know what to do with myself. You just don't believe it when someone tells you that someone that you just saw is dead. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to be. It was awful. It was, without a doubt, the worst phone call I've ever received. Before this, I used to always think it was strange when people said, I don't understand death. People would just be like, oh, I don't get it. Like, you know, some people are here and then they're gone the next minute. I'm just like, yeah, they died. You know, get over it. They're just not here anymore. What's the issue? What don't you get? But it was after Joe died. I got it. I saw her on the Monday. She died on the Saturday. She was gone. She was just a memory. She was no longer in this world. I could no longer see her or talk to her, even though I could still hear her. I could still hear her voice and her laugh. It didn't make sense that she wasn't around anymore. And especially when they're so young, she was just in her 30s, like just in her 30s. It's really hard when they're that young. It's of course sad when older people die as well, but you always kind of think, oh well, they had a long life, they did so much, it was their time, and it makes it easier. But when it's someone so young, you think, why did they have to go? They had so much things that they could do and they wanted to do, and it's just really hard because you think that you should have had more time with them. That was definitely what I thought straight away. I was like, I wish I had more time with her. I wish I hung out with her more. I wish I talked to her more. I wish I knew her for longer. That was my thing going through my head the whole time. I just wish I'd been with her every day that I knew her. And even if you're with someone every single day for the whole lives until they die, you'll always want more days. I get that. You tend to take things for granted, and when it's gone, you always wish you'd done something differently. That is definitely something you should not do when you are dealing with the loss of a loved one. Just forget about what you should have done or what you could have done. Think about what you did do. Think back on all the memories that you have with this person, and just be thankful that you had them, that you got to know them. I personally am so thankful that she had the transplant. If she didn't, I probably wouldn't have met her when I came over to Edinburgh. And I just loved our time together, just hanging out in her house, just me and her, just watching shite on TV and drinking wine. That was one of my most cherished memories, and I'm so lucky to have that, as hard as it is to know that I'll never have it again. The one thing that I learned when I was dealing with the loss of my friend is that you have to let your emotions come out as and when you feel them. I felt at first that I couldn't be happy. I couldn't laugh at a funny joke, or I couldn't, think of nice things. I had to keep myself down, I thought, because if I laughed, it's like I was over it. Like I didn't care that she was gone. And that is totally the wrong way at looking at it. It's okay to laugh if something is funny, even though you've got this hole in your heart and it doesn't seem like the right time to laugh. If something is funny, just laugh. It helps. Obviously, it doesn't mean that you don't care about this person. That's what I had to learn. It's just, no, you can't force yourself to be kept down and kept sad because you feel you have to, because it's like you don't care about them if you do. They'll want you to laugh. If they could see you in tears, it would break their heart. If something is funny, you can laugh, you can talk about mundane things. You don't have to be crying all the time. There's no easy way of dealing with grief. So if you can get the tiniest bit of happiness out of a little joke, just to lighten the mood, don't feel guilty about laughing. One thing I found that really, really helped, and it's it's an obvious one, but just talking to people about how you are feeling. If you are feeling really sad and really down, you just want to talk to somebody, do it. And more importantly, talk about the person that you've lost. You'll find that it will really help, and you'll be able to laugh about funny things that you and them did together. And you might actually even get memories that you forgot. You know, you'll rekindle some old memory. You're like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was really funny. And everyone would love to hear about it as well, because they want to know different aspects of this person that they didn't know. So your memories will be different from theirs, and you get to learn a different aspect of the person that is gone. And I really, really did like that. At Joe's funeral, I was talking to her mother about her things that we used to do together, and her mother would tell me things about Joe, and I just went around and just talked to anyone about her. And it was just really, really nice, and it really did help. Obviously, it was very upsetting as well. There is a lot of moments on that day that I cried just thinking about her, or thinking about different stories that I was told. But it does really, really help, and I definitely encourage it. One thing, it might sound a bit silly, but one thing that I've done a few times is talking to them. Yeah. The person that is no longer with you, talk to them. I found when I got really upset, I would be lying in bed by myself, and I would just say her name out loud, and I would just say, I miss you. And sometimes I would just tell her things. And I know I don't really believe in like heaven or hell, and maybe not even an afterlife. I'm not quite sure, but even just pretending she was there and being able to talk to her and just let her know that I'm thinking of her and that I miss her, it was kind of a comfort. Next, what I think really helps, and especially helps me because I'm a kind of a creative person, I made a tribute to her. The day she died, I wrote her a poem. And then a few weeks later, I compiled a few pictures that I have of her, and then put it in a frame with loads of different phrases that we used to say to each other, either stuff we quoted from movies or just things that we came up with in our friendship that we used to always say to each other. And I have that sitting beside my couch, and I see it every day, and it's really nice. She's all around me, and I look at it sometimes and I read all the phrases in the comments, and it makes me smile, and it makes me remember the friendship that we had together. And I don't need these things to remember her. She's a pretty unforgettable person. I think about her nearly every day, and I still can hear her voice so clearly in my head. She'll just never be forgotten. Just finding some way to honor them, I think it just really helps. And like I said, you have to be grateful. It is hard to be grateful and think of the good when something bad like this happens, because I was focusing on all the times I didn't spend with her. I was thinking, oh, I should have made an effort with her more to hang out with her, or go for drinks, or whatever. I just focused on all that and all the time that I missed, and completely forgot about the times that we had together. It took me a while to just let that go and just look back on the times we had together and all the memories that we did make. You've got to let go of the what ifs and just look at what was. And last of all, just always keep them in your heart. I don't mean to dwell on it and get yourself down about it. Get to a place where you've accepted it and still remember them fondly. Be able to look back on this wonderful person that you knew and all the memories you made together, and how they changed you in some way. It could be in a very, very small way, like showing you a band that you now love, or it could be in a significant way. One thing Joe taught me is to not care what other people think about the things you like. So I used to always say like, oh, I have shit taste in music, or I have shit taste in movies, but I love it. And she goes, it's not shit if you like it. Don't let other people tell you that it's shit. If you like it, it is not shit. So just don't care what other people say or think. and it's always stuck in my mind. I like what I like, and Joe taught me to just be proud of that. So I will always keep her in my heart, and you should do the same with your loved ones. It can be hard to look back and smile. Even now, a year on, I still cry, but mostly I think of her with such fondness, and I know I'll never forget her. So I just would like to raise a glass one last time for Joe, for my two granddads, to my little cousin Keith, and to everyone else who has passed on. And I would also like to raise a toast to us, to the people who are left behind, who has lost someone. It is not easy, and we'll always remember you, and we'll always love you. Cheers. If you yourself have lost someone and feel like you want to talk about it, please leave a comment in the comment section. I would love to be there for you, because I think we should all stick together in these kind of situations. It is hard enough to lose someone. Sometimes you just need someone to talk to. So please feel free to leave any comments in the comments section, and I'll reply to them all, because it's very important that we support each other. So I'll just leave it at that. The next video will be a lot more upbeat and happier, I promise. Thank you for watching. Bye.